Hello, everybody. I see so many fine friends and familiar names in the house. And now we have Larry. Hello. How are you?
Hello. Good. How are you?
Wonderful. This is so much fun, Larry. Thank you so much for that amazing introduction. You're such a talented artist and all-around tech genius. You've done so much to make Heartland look good. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. I was happy to share a little love with our booksellers. I want to thank our publishing friends that were able to participate, and a special shout out to Johanna Hines for the initial idea for the video.
Yeah, isn't it funny that in this year of social distancing, closed bookstores, virtual trade shows, in some ways we feel kind of closer than ever before. And it's a real testament to what a close-knit industry this is and what a great situation we have with this truly supportive industry.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been awesome working with you and Kate. Our associations have been working together since June, a little over 5 months for Heartland Summer. And even before that to prepare for the whole virtual experience. From June through tonight's celebration, we've hosted 23 events together, gotten over 680 total attendees, and our videos have been watched and rewatched over 2,100 times, which is awesome.
Wow. You know, that really feels so good. Those numbers feel great. And I also had such a wonderful time working with you and with Kate and all of our booksellers. I have so many pandemic hugs stored up for when we all get to see each other again. So
Awesome, absolutely. I think now we're ready to move on to the awards. The books that we're celebrating tonight were 100% selected by independent bookstores throughout both of our regions. They're their favorites from this previous year. Each book has a connection to our region, either in its content or an author being from one of our states. So I think we're ready to start. We're going to start out by introducing our host tonight. Our first host tonight is Ida Cutler. Ida is originally from San Francisco and has worked for 3 years as a bookseller at Women and Children's First in Chicago, one of the last 12 remaining feminist bookstores in the country. When she's not selling, talking about, or reading books, Ida can be found writing, performing, and teaching in the Chicago Neo-Futurist Theater. Ida loves riding bikes, and in August completed a 3-week, 1,200-mile tour around Lake Michigan. Carrie?
And our second host is Isaac Fitzgerald. He hosted our book awards last year in Cleveland, and well, we loved him and all the love he shares, so we invited him back again. He's the author of How to Be a Pirate, a very charming picture book, as well as 2 books about tattoos and the stories behind them, both illustrated by Wendy McNaughton. Go follow him at his Literary Man About Town Instagram account. That way, you can stay tuned for news about his forthcoming book of essays called Dirtbag, Massachusetts. Supposed to be released, I think, originally next year, but last time I looked, it was 2021. So, you know, just stay tuned. We'll see when it comes out, when the publishing cycle allows it to. It's about the search for a more expansive version of masculinity, and I applaud that immensely. Please take it away, Ida and Isaac. Thank you so much for joining us.
I'm just going to come in clapping. Everybody, it's all right. I know we're all on our own.
Isaac!
We can't really hear each other.
We just got a text.
That's all right.
We just got a text that Ida's video crashed, so she's working her way back in.
Absolutely. It's all right. We can take some time here. I do want to just say real quick, everybody, we're obviously here to celebrate the authors and these amazing finalists and the winners tonight. But I want to take a moment to just say how much I love booksellers. So let's start by giving Carrie and Larry, and I know we can't hear each other, but if you're in a house that allows it and you're feeling it, just go ahead and give Carrie and Larry a round of applause. And then I want you to keep that going for yourselves, because this has been a really difficult year. So keep clapping for yourselves. Go ahead. If you got a pet there that's giving you the side eye because you're clapping in an empty room, that's okay. Because I've been in touch with so many booksellers over the past year, and knowing all of the challenges and all the hurdles and all of the curveballs that this year has thrown at you all in an already incredibly difficult industry, it's just been so inspiring to check in with my bookseller friends and to hear the stories of how you all are really thinking on your feet, and think of new and innovative ways to tackle the issues that this year, at first it was only going to be 6 weeks, then it was 3 months, then it was just going to be the summer, And here's Ida. Welcome, Ida.
Oh, wow.
Woohoo!
Mentioning challenges right there. Can everyone hear me?
And that's what I was about to say, right? Like the fact that I feel like so many people so quickly pivoted to learn how to do virtual events. Oh, we lost Ida again.
Oh, I'm here.
And she's back. So Ida, I just want to ask you like a little bit, like, I kind of want to start with virtual events, right? Because here we are having this virtual award ceremony. What are some of the silver linings? You know, we can't hear everybody clap for one another, but what are some of the silver linings to virtual events that you've found at your store?
Yeah, definitely. Something that's been really exciting that our owner, Sarah Hollenbeck, so I'm at Women and Children First right now. That's why I went away for a second because I'm on the Wi-Fi here. But something that Sarah said early on was that the nice thing about it is that you kind of get to see like two authors coming on just with each other on this like crowdcast platform like we are right now. And it's sort of like this nice, like you just see their friendship and like how excited that they are to like see each other and to connect. So for me, a big silver lining has been that because I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm just watching two best friends hang out.
No, absolutely. Also, not to sound like a creep, but some of the more voyeuristic side of me, I've loved watching live events from bookstores all across the country because you can often see in the background like what the author's house looks like, who maybe didn't have time to clean up before the event.
Yeah.
Like fun stuff, like you're basically getting welcomed into somebody's home.
Oh, yeah.
And
I think that might be creepy, but I'm also in the same boat.
Yeah, right? No, it's just
cool.
The other thing that I find really nice about it is oftentimes you see these events on social media and you're like, ooh, I wish I was in St. Louis, or ooh, I wish I was in Chicago. I wish I could attend that event. That looks like a great pairing of people to speak. And now because of this, we are actually able to kind of check out those shows, especially those of us maybe in rural areas that don't have a close by independent bookstore are now able to attend these kinds of events.
Yeah, definitely. And like international like things.
100%.
Like having internet, like I don't know if some of these authors would have been able to be in our bookstore just by like traveling. Like so being able to do an event with someone who is in like England or Ghana or like just that's been really special, I feel like.
I 100% agree. And so then I know you were getting back in here, but I did want to say like we obviously acknowledged it with the thank you video, but like it has been a tough year. It has been a rough year. So just, and not to put you on the spot here, Ida, what, and you can answer this in general and in 2020, what are you proud of about being a bookseller? Kind of what did you learn about yourself a little bit this year? What did you learn about this job or just in general? Because I absolutely love booksellers and I love giving them the opportunity to big up themselves a little bit.
Aw. Yeah, I think it people turned to books in a big way when this all started, when this all went down. Like whether it was in order to just have something to take their minds off of the very scary pandemic, or whether it was because people were like starting new hobbies or developing new interests or starting classes. So being able to sort of be that entry point felt really cool. Like just a I felt humbled by it. Like people asking sort of like what recommendations, just like I know that recommendation had like a different weight during this time. So that felt very cool.
No, and I think that's an awesome answer. So Ida and everybody that's here, seriously, thank you for all that you do. Booksellers #1, and it's really lovely that we all get to do this again. Of course, I wish we were all in person in Ohio somewhere, but it's very nice to be doing this. Do you want to launch into these awards?
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. First up, and I'm really excited, it's the category of children's picture book, and the finalists are
My Footprints by Bao Fee, published by Capstone Editions.
A Map into the World by Kao Kalia Yang, published by Carol Rhoda Books.
Wild Honey from the Moon by Kenneth Kragle, published by Candlewick.
Hello, Neighbor by Matthew Cordell, published by Neil Porter Books. And the winner is
A Map into the World by Cal Kalia Yang.
Woo! Cal's gonna come up here and say a few words, and by up here I mean up to this podium.
Hello, I'm coming to you from St. Paul, Minnesota. I am delighted to be a part of this evening. I want to thank all of the booksellers out there, not only for this moment, but for all of the moments before. When I emerged as a young writer, as a Hmong American writer into the scene, it was first your bookstores that sold my books. You've given me time to mature and to grow in this craft that I love, and for that, I thank you. I also want to say that A Map into the World is so special to me. Bob passed away in the early days of the pandemic, and although he was just across the street, I could not visit. And so we've not had opportunity to say goodbye. And tonight you all have given me an opportunity. Bob, wherever you are, thank you for sharing so much of your stories and yourself with me and my children, and now so many other children. I think that the legacy of your love and your kindness will live on for a long time. At a time when so many of us are looking for ways into the future, oftentimes the scary future, it is the beauty that we have carried in our hearts that have allowed us to draw maps for those who are young and those who are older to journey along. And I really hope that A Map into the World will continue to do that wonderful work of helping young people collect beauty from this world that we're in, from this moment that we share, to carry forth into the future. I'm so delighted to be a writer from the Midwest, to be a Hmong American writer, and so honored by this award. I hope to visit many of your bookstores in the days ahead, and I hope to visit lots of bookshelves in the days to come. Thank you so much for this tremendous honor.
Oh,
I didn't expect tears right out of the gate, but
oh my gosh.
again, congratulations to Kalia. Absolutely incredible. And a fantastic book. Okay, composure.
We don't have to be composed. We don't have to be composed.
That was a beautiful.
Feel the feels. You can feel it.
Yeah, we can do it. That's right. It's allowed. It's allowed. All right. So next up, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
In the category of young adult middle grade, the finalists are
Beverly Right Here by Kate DiCamillo, published by Candlewick.
The Fountains of Silence by Ruta Zepetes, published by Philomel Books.
Wink by Rob Harrell, published by Dial Books.
And Slay by Brittany Morris, published by Simon Pulse. And the winner is
The Fountains of Silence by Ruta Zepetes. Yeah.
And Ruta's coming up to the and there it is.
Woo! Oh my gosh, Isaac, Ida, Carrie, Larry, thank you so much. This is such an honor. Some of you know me. I'm a Michigander. So this is incredibly special for me. And also, I don't know if you remember, but I attended a breakfast with some of you all back in October before the earth shifted on its axis. And here we are. And this is such an honor to win the Heartland Booksellers Award. I've kept it a secret, even from my family. I am all fancied up in a dress and I have champagne. Someone said, "Where are the drink tickets?" I'm like, "Honey, I got them." My family said, "Where are you going?" I said, "Shh, it's a secret." But I want to thank everyone with the Midwest Independent Booksellers Association, the Great Lakes Booksellers Association, my publisher, Philomel and Penguin Random House, but most especially, I have to shout out two people that you all know, John Denny and Jill Netto. I mean, they are my regional sales reps. This would be impossible without them. My book, The Fountains of Silence, follows the story of an American boy and a Spanish girl, and they're desperate to connect and understand one another, but they're fenced by fear and silence and circumstance. How can they bridge those widths between them? And it's incredibly meaningful to win this award now during such challenging times because, his Fountains of Silence is historical fiction. And through historical fiction, we're reading about difficulties of the past that give us perspective to the present. And more importantly, create hope for a more just future because we're reading about others who have endured hardship and have found meaning through hardship, and how after breaking down, they eventually broke through. And we will too. We will break through and we will get through this. I have spent over a decade interviewing human beings who have endured hardship. And I'm revisiting their wisdom each and every day. So Fountains of Silence, it's a book about Spanish fascism, but at its heart, it's about human beings who want to connect and bridge those widths between them. And eventually they do that. And how do they do that? By sharing their stories. And as fellow community members, readers, authors, publishers, booksellers, how can we bridge those widths between us? We can share our stories. And when we learn more about one another, I think we might find, hey, you know what? Maybe we're more alike than different. We find those connection points. So I write about underrepresented history. And trust me, readers do not run into your bookstore saying, quick, give me a book about Spanish fascism or about victims of communism starving in Siberia or East Prussian refugees on a sinking ship. That does not happen. No. At the outset, Isaac and Ida were talking about, what are you proud of during this pandemic? I want each and every one of you here to know that you are heroes and you are lamplighters during a very dark time. Amidst this darkness, you are healing hearts, you are illuminating dark corners, and you're providing hope to so many readers. And that is the power of books. And that's a power that you are sharing every single day. So you have been here for me for so many years. I'm not going to date myself. And I want you to know that I am here for you. What can I do for you? Can I sign your stock? Can I help you during the holidays? If a book club buys a book through your independent store, can I chat with them via Zoom for free? Can I please do this? Let me know how I can help you. But in the meantime, thank you for this incredible honor. And thank you for helping me do what I think is my life's work, but I know is my heart's work. So thank you so much.
Woo! Yeah, Ruda! Big congratulations. I love that. Lamplighters. That's such a perfect way to put it. That is absolutely what you all are doing all this year, and it means so much to so many people. That was so well said. Also, I gotta say, between Ruda's incredible, just incredible dress,
Yeah,
and your very awesome beanie.
You love this beanie,
I love this beanie, and I'm feeling a little under. I maybe should have.
When they run through, Isaac talked with his beanie, so I wore it tonight for you.
It's a really I didn't know either. We've got that in common, but we'll have to talk about that after.
We'll talk about that later. Yeah,
absolutely. But right now, you ready to get into poetry?
Let's do it.
All right. This is the category of poetry, and the finalists are
Dear Delinquent by Anne Townsend, published by Sarabande Books.
Hull by Zandria Phillips, published by Night Boat Books.
Homie by Denez Smith, published by Grey Wolf Press.
And El Dorado Freddy's by Danny Kane, published by Belt Publishing. And the winner is
Homie by Denez Smith.
Woo! And here's the thing. I love Denez. They are so incredible. Such a wonderful poet, always repping the Heartland. They sadly could not make it here this evening. They send their love, and they have a video that we're going to play right now. So attending the virtual event virtually is Denez.
Clapping video.
Hello, Heartland Book Awards. This is Denez Smith. I'm sorry. I'll be there live tonight. I'm driving to Omaha, or I'm getting ready to drive to Omaha for a family event. But I want to take some time to say thank you so much for choosing Homie, the second book of mine now to win this award 2 in a row for this year's Poetry Award. Personally, I was rooting for Hull by Zandria Phillips, one of my favorite reads from last year. And Intimate Archives, I think, is like one of the best poems written in the last 10 years. And so, thank you so much for all the work that y'all do. My heart goes out to all the booksellers this year, to all of us in books this year. What a year it has been, but thank you so much for charging through, providing, these escapes for all of us readers out here during these times when we so desperately need an escape and so desperately need to plug into the world. And so thank you for pushing the nonfiction section too. Thank you so much. Seriously, I think bookstores are some of my favorite places in the world. I can remember both buying some magical books from bookstores and stealing porn out of Borders when I was a teenager. And all of it is wonderful. So thank you for doing all the work that you do to push people's lives through the magic that we find on pages. And this sacred bond that we have between the people who put books in people's hands and the people who make books. And I thank you for that. Once again, for Denez Smith, happy. Denez Smith, the Zandria Phillips fan, slightly sad. Thank you to everybody in the poetry category. But I do just want to give a special shout out to Zandria. And sell our books together. Yeah, do that. Make it a package deal. I would love that. All right, have a good one, y'all. Be blessed.
So you heard it here. Denez, they give you permission to sell their book and Zandria's book coupled. Maybe a deal. I'm just saying, I love that. But that was a beautiful speech. I'm sorry. I really did. Homie's such a beautiful book. And it was absolutely fantastic to see that. But onwards to adult nonfiction.
Let's do it.
All right. In the category of adult nonfiction, the finalists are
In the Dream House by Carmen Maria Machado, published by Grey Wolf Press.
Rust Belt Femme by Rachel Ann Jolie, published by Belt Publishing.
American Harvest by Marie Matsuki Mockett, published by Grey Wolf Press.
Burn the Place by Ilana Regan, published by Scribner. And the winner is
In the Dream House by Carmen Maria Machado.
And now again, I'm going to say, first things first, y'all are just real heavy hitters. That's all I'm going to say. But Carmen could also not make it this evening, has also made a video to say thank you. So we're going to go to that video now. And again, just bear with us. This is, like we said, it's a little bit of a new thing for us. So we're figuring it out. And hats off to Larry for making it work. But here's Carmen Maria Machado.
My mother is from Wisconsin, specifically Highland, near Mineral Point. When I was a kid, we visited every summer. We would spend 2 days in the car driving from eastern Pennsylvania to the Midwest, visiting relatives up and down in Madison and Evansville and Wausau and Dodgeville. We visited our many aunts and uncles and cousins and my grandparents and family friends, and when we were going stir crazy, my parents would take us to the house on the rock or the summer kitchen. I always came on this trip with a bag of library books and went through many complete series sitting on a porch or someone's lawn while mosquitoes bit every inch of my body. I always felt like there was something essential about the Midwest, the wildness of it, the terror and the beauty, the smell of the air, the farm, and the animals, a Middle Earth if there ever was one. Even when I returned there as an adult for grad school in Iowa and then Indiana, where the events of my memoir In the Dream House took place, I had this sense that I was living and loving and creating and experiencing some of my deepest sorrows in an ancestral home that had never given me up. It's an honor, then, to know that the independent booksellers of this region are not only hand-selling my books with the greatest love and care, but also supported in the Dream House for the Heartland Booksellers Award for Nonfiction. So thank you to the Midwest Booksellers Association, my publisher Grey Wolf, my editor Ethan Nasowski, and my agent Kent Wolf. But most importantly, thank you to the independent bookstores of the Midwest. I couldn't have done any of this without you.
And that's a fantastic book. Yeah.
This is a
Yeah.
real-
Feel the feels. Feel the feels, Isaac.
Real
I
good
like
speech.
it.
I'm from Boston, but I was like, yeah, Midwest. That hit me. A real Midwest. Okay, no, I'm good.
Moving on.
Is that a book that you were selling a lot of this?
Oh, definitely. It's a really popular one here at Women and Children First, and I read it and loved it. We're sold out of that one all the time. Like it just comes and it goes. So it's
such a good book. Absolutely. Well, congrats to Carmen. All right, here we are. Final category of the night. Although don't be mistaken, there's still more after this. But final category of the night is adult fiction. The finalists are
Everywhere You Don't Belong by Gabriel Bump, published by Algonquin Books.
The Lost Book of Adana Moreau by Michael Zapata, published by Hanover Square Press.
This Tender Land by William Kent Kruger, published by Atria Books.
The Lager Queen of Minnesota by J. Ryan Straddle, published by Penguin Books. And the winner is
Everywhere You Don't Belong by Gabriel Bump.
Woo! And Gabriel is here as we can all be.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. Well, I'm calling in from Buffalo. And man, I mean, this is incredible. Let's see, I guess, like, first, I'd like to congratulate my fellow finalists on writing and publishing excellent books during an otherwise terrible year. J. Ryan Straddle, who I had the honor to meet at Book Expo last year and can personally vouch for his brilliance and kindness. William Kent Kruger, whose distinguished career and wide-ranging oeuvre, can speak for itself. And of course, my fellow Chicagoan, mi hermano and debutante, Michael Zapata. I hope to meet you in person someday soon, maybe down in Maxwell Street or the Art Institute when the world returns to normal. And of course, I have to thank everybody at Algonquin Books and Workman Publishing for jumping on this novel, celebrating with me whenever exciting news like this comes in, having faith in not only this book, but having faith in me as a writer, as me as a person. So Kathy, Michael, Betsy, Randall, Christian, Annie, and Lauren, thank you. Thank you for changing my life and treating me like family. My mom, dad, Natalie, Chris, Baldwin, Mike, my blood family. Thanks for supporting me on this wild journey and encouraging me never to give up, even if giving up was the easiest and most practical option. And my grandpa, who passed just last week, I know he's, looking down in his stoic way, just, nodding his head and proud. And my grandma, who passed when I started writing fiction seriously, to whom this book is dedicated. I love you and miss you. Caitlin, our pets, Hootie, Frank, and Mona, my Buffalo loves. Thank you for holding me and keeping me steady. during this crazy year. And thank you, Alexa Stark, my superstar agent and friend, for reading this book like 3 years ago and seeing something worth sharing. I still can't believe we did it. Big thanks to all the sales reps at Fuji Associates, who really got behind this book, felt it was worth pushing. And thank you, especially to all you wonderful Midwestern booksellers. My fondest memories of touring, something I'll always remember in what we now call the before times, are just traveling across the Midwest, where I'm from, and chatting with you about your favorite recent titles, what excites you about literature. As you can probably tell from my writing, there aren't many places in America where I, a young Black man, can feel like anchored and secured and safe. And bookstores have always given me a place to feel like myself. From my childhood in Chicago to my college years in Missouri, as a little kid sitting in 57th Street Books in the children's section, where my mom perused the adult section, trying not to get in trouble. Because, as we all know, a great bookstore provides a vital community for people like us, just weirdos of all backgrounds who enjoy getting lost in made-up worlds when our troublesome reality starts to feel too cumbersome. And publishing a book when the world is experiencing literal, figurative, and spiritual raging fires is a surreal experience. As everything about this moment in time is surreal. Things as basic as voting and a presidential debate feel totally turned upside down. And the problems we face are so big and just so crippling that it's hard to appreciate small personal joys when they come. And this award and you all, have allowed me space to feel happiness and gratitude, emotions that just are fleeting on a daily basis. So thank you again. I wish we were all in person together to raise a glass, to dance, to hug, to revel in our special little community of weirdos. Someday soon, we can hope. But until then, again and always, thank you, and Midwest forever.
Congratulations again to Gabriel.
Here comes
Wow, that was real. But yeah, Midwest forever. Midwest forever. That was beautiful. And that is one of the things too about this year, as difficult as it's been, but how we find the silver linings. But touring, right? Touring is as fun as these virtual events can be. It really does. It, especially, I'm sure, from an author's point of view, to miss out on going out and getting to see we love it.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right. Well, so that concludes all of those awards. But now here comes the Voice of the Heartland Award, which, can we just take a moment to acknowledge?
Yeah.
Great name.
Really good.
Right?
Really good. Voice of the Heartland. Yeah. Just the name. Give it up for whoever named that award should get an award.
Great.
Award for naming awards. That's a good one. Yeah.
Absolutely. Midwest Forever, the Voice of the Heartland Award. To introduce the award, I'm going to introduce somebody that needs no introduction, especially in Ohio, especially here in the Midwest, but I'm going to give it a shot. Hanif Abdurraqib is just incredible, a poet, essayist, cultural critic, lives in Columbus, Ohio. His most recent publications include Go Ahead in the Rain, Notes to a Tribe Called Quest, which was absolutely fantastic, New York Times bestseller, you all know it, and a fortune for your disaster, a poetry collection published by Tin House. Like I said, I don't know why I'm still talking. Welcome to the stage, Hanif.
Hello. Hi, Hanif.
Hey, how's it going, y'all?
Good. It's going very good. So I think I have a very important question that I've been tasked to ask you is, what is up with Columbus, Ohio? What? Pitch us Columbus, Ohio. What's so cool about it? Just gush about a Columbus, Ohio.
I lost like 6 friends to Columbus, all right? People are leaving New York for Columbus, and I just...
Yeah, I mean, well, I think I'm really bad at answering this question only because I've lived here pretty much my whole life. And so it's kind of become a joyful, muted gray, where it's like I love so much about it that it blends into my everyday. But I will say the fall in Columbus is my favorite time of year. And this year, at least on my street, the trees are kind of slowly turning really thoughtfully and really gently. Sometimes, as I know the $2 radio folks know, we kind of tumble through seasons really rapidly to get to the bad ones. Like we tumble through fall to end up at a really bad winter, or we like tumble through spring to get to a really unbearable summer. But fall has really taken its time this year. So far, fall has really taken its time, and that has made me very happy.
All right. Well, we're going to leave you to introduce the voice of the Heartland Award. Hanif, thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Yeah. So I first want to just extend gratitude to booksellers and sales reps. I was thinking this week about how much I miss being in bookstores and how much I miss talking to booksellers in the places they live and work, because I think those conversations in various places have led me to love areas more, to love stores more, to love the people who shop in them and who work in them. And so to booksellers, thank you for keeping on. And I say this anytime I do something that is like bookseller facing, but if I can be of use in any way, many of you know how to get a hold of me because I am very willing to give booksellers my email for anything. Back in 2016, I went to Eric and Eliza Obanoff's house because my old friend Brett Gregory had asked me if I was interested in putting out an essay book, and I was not at the time. But Eric invited me over to his house. And he wanted to show me how $2 radio worked, which at that point this is before the store. So at that point, how $2 radio worked was the books were in the basement. Eric goes, we're talking at his table, and Eric goes, well, let me show you where we keep our books. And I'm thinking, well, he's going to take me somewhere, surely. But we just kind of go down the steps, and all of their books are in the basement. He's like, we ship these out. We do all the work ourselves. We take this very seriously, and we'd love to have you. And I remember leaving that day thinking, well, it would be fun to publish with these people. I don't think at the time either of us were thinking about like quote unquote success or traditional measures of quote unquote success. But I was thinking, well, how fun would it be to publish a book with this press that runs their shit out their house? You know what I mean? And that is the first seed of How They Can't Kill Us Until They Kill Us came about. But what I really learned in the process of working with Eric and Eliza and Brett and with Tom, who's no longer with $2 Radio, and Nathan and Molly, like all these folks who are kind of in the $2 Radio ecosystem, is that there's a genuine care for the person who is creating. And I never felt like I was attached to a product. Some of this I know is because I live in the same city as these folks, and because I see them, because I drop into the store, because I talk to them, because they're my friends. But there's very much something about Eric and Eliza and Brett and all the folks associated with $2 Radio who make the books happen on the front end, the things that we all see. They treat the people who make the books, who are writing the books, as though they're people. I always talk about how writers owe it to themselves to be, we're all several different things beyond what we produce. Before I'm a writer, I'm maybe like 8 different things. And in order to write well, I have to check all those boxes. And I appreciate $2 Radio for, during the creation of this book, and the way they work, giving me space to check all those boxes as a person before I came to them as a writer. And I'm so thankful for Eric and Eliza's vision. They, when they opened the store, they moved to the community the store was in so that they were a part of the community, so that their family was part of that community. It's those small things, or those things that to me aren't small, but that might seem small to other folks, that show such immense care. And I also will say that $2 Radio is the only press I've published with that has been just up for going with anything. Anything that seems to like be fun and make sense and be exciting. And that also makes the process of being an author, large air quotes, being an author, something that fits into the mold of what I dreamed up being a writer would be. When I dreamed about being a writer, I didn't dream of looking at a bunch of numbers on a contract or, kind of the more businessy end of book publication. I dreamed of being able to think up fun covers and to think up fun readings and to have a space like the $2 Radio store where Eric will just shrug, or Brett or Eliza will just shrug and say, do whatever you want here. The space is as much yours as it is ours. And I think the last thing I'm going to say that I feel is really important is that if we are, I don't often use a collective we, so forgive me here, but if we are to get to the other side of this, we are going to have to get to the other side of it with people who, within their vision for the world, see the people they work with as more than products, and see the people they work with as more than just talent, but also see the people they work with as people. I can always trust when Eric sees me, when Eliza sees me, when Brett sees me, to ask how I'm doing, to ask if I'm getting enough sleep. The answer is always no, but they try. And I feel so seen by them, and I feel so honored to have them in the same city as I live. And I feel like with any luck, I will be back in the $2 Radio headquarters one day hosting an event that I hope all of you can come to. And so it's a real honor for me to be a part of the $2 Radio family, and it's a real honor for me to hand this off to them and allow them to receive this award that they have put in an immense amount of work for. So thank y'all for letting me be a little part of this, and I'm very proud of Eric and Eliza and Brett and Nathan and everyone, like Tom, everyone who's ever been a part of it.
Thanks so much, Hanif. We feel so fortunate to have published Hanif, and also just grateful that we live in the same town. In 15 years, Hanif is the first author that we've published who lives in Columbus. And over the past 3 years, we've seen him give of his time just so incredibly generously, mentoring teens, hosting events that uplift marginalized groups, and supporting the work of young artists in our community. And obviously, in addition to all this, he's just like a supremely kind spirit and an immensely gifted writer. So thank you all, Hanif, for that very kind introduction. So early on, when we were just starting out, someone told me that no one recommends so-so or okay books. They only recommend great books. And as a publisher, when you see booksellers championing a book and word of mouth buzz on social media, that's when it clicks that we've accomplished something. And so we've been fortunate to work on some special books at $2 Radio, one of which was Hanif's essay collection, They Can't Kill Us Until They Kill Us. And I remember sitting with Hanif while he signed copies of the book at the Heartland Fall Forum outside of Chicago in 2017. And he inscribed them all, Ohio Against the World, which is a sentiment that folks take to heart around here. But I believe it also embodies the mindset of the region as a whole. We're all a scrappy underdog fighting against the odds. And it's pretty special how tightly knit our region is. I've been to events at bookstores in Iowa City, Minneapolis, Chicago, Ann Arbor, Cleveland, and our region's just so rich with literary culture. And we've got some of the best bookstores, and we've also got some of the best publishers too. I mean, it's pretty magical to see Milkweed get a book on the bestseller list and Coffee House publish a Pulitzer Prize finalist. And this closeness, I believe, also frames a sense of community. It's pretty fun to get a text from, Rebecca at Volumes asking why every other bookseller in Chicago has an advanced copy of a book that we're publishing except for her. And I did send her one, by the way. But I think that this camaraderie, this kindness, this generosity, it contributes to a sense of family as well, which is why Heartland always feels a bit like a reunion. So last month, Eliza and I celebrated our 16th wedding anniversary, and 2020 is the 15th anniversary of $2 Radio. We started the press when we were young and quite literally just did not know any better. We had no experience. We had no connections in publishing. And at the time, I was working at a hotel bar when this old drunk gentleman came in, and it was the middle of the day, and I wasn't going to serve him, but there was nothing I could do just besides pretend to be busy. And he realized that, and he said, "Don't mind me. I make more noise than a $2 radio." And so that's what we try to do, publish books too loud to ignore. And around that same time when we were just starting out, just trying to get things off the ground, and I think it was 2007, I got in touch with John Martin, who started Black Sparrow Press, and he famously paid Charles Bukowski $100 a month in 1966 so that he could quit his post office job and focus on writing. And John was very encouraging, but he told me that he started Black Sparrow with $30,000. And he estimated that if he wanted to start a press in 2007, that he would need $300,000. And that was extremely discouraging for me to hear, because we knew we wanted to publish books and we didn't have $300,000. We didn't have $10,000. And at the time, we had a line of credit that the bank, realistically should not have given us. And we had a 1-year-old daughter who's now 14 and packages all of our shipments for us. But obviously, none of us indie presses or bookstores is getting rich. And we're in this because we love books and we love authors and we love community building around literature. And I realized too, even on the best of days, just totally disregarding the shit show that was 2020, even on the best of days, it can feel like we're just collectively pushing water up a hill with a broom. And so I'm so thankful for the breaks that we've caught when we caught them. I think it was in 2015, 2016, when I fell into this sort of mental rut as a publisher, just feeling disconnected from books and readers and just any conversation that was happening around them. And just started questioning what we're even doing, just endlessly pushing books out into the world. And it was that longing to more directly engage with the community and with literary culture that inspired us to open our storefront in Columbus, $2 Radio headquarters. And it was equally inspired by the 2016 election and all the hate-fueled policies that followed. We wanted to do something active. And the only way I think that we could approach each day with any level of sanity was by throwing up a flag in our community and saying, this is what we're for. This represents the world that we want to live in. And I'm a strong believer that we choose the magnet we want to be. And I'm really proud of the way that our storefront embodies our ideals and our approach within our community. Which is all to say, too, that I really feel that without booksellers, there is a disconnect. And there doesn't feel to be that community or any kind of engaged discussion surrounding the book, which at the end of the day is solely why we exist as publishers, for books to be read and discussed and to be shared. And so I think that just underlines, that we're truly all in this together, which is what makes the Voice of the Heartland Award so special to us, is that it comes from a group of people that we admire endlessly in a region that is home. There are some folks that I'd like to thank individually, but before I do, I'd love it if Brett and Eliza could join me here. Eliza has been my partner in crime on this ridiculous and remarkable journey. And as I said, we just celebrated our 16th anniversary. And, Brett's worked with us. Come on, guys. Brett's worked with us for the past 5 years, tirelessly and passionately, and he's very much a part of the fam. I do wish that I could thank each of you in person, but our heartfelt thanks go to the Gleba and Meba boards, to Carrie, Larry, and Kate for all the elbow grease that you put into this and all the other Heartland events, for including our authors at past events, like Columbus' own Hanif Abdurrahid, Iowa City's Andre Perry, and Billy Ray Belcourt of the Driftpile Cree First Nation in Alberta. I'm sure that the quick pivot that you had to make to digital made you want to pull your hair out, but you pulled it off with grace. Thanks to Johanna and Sarah and Leslie and the whole support crew at Publishers Group West, who champion our work and trust our vision and help us get books into your hands. Thanks to our buddy and honorary radio, Gary Lovely at Columbus's iconic The Book Loft for nominating us. To our great friend and family member, Hanif Abdurrahid, and all of our authors who trusted us with their work. And also because, we don't get an opportunity to accept a lot of awards, or any awards really. I want to give a shout out to our kids, Rio and Maceo, for allowing us to hijack family dinners and vacations. Maceo going right up front, for allowing us to hijack family dinners and vacations to talk about books and authors and projects. And so I hope that, just in closing, that I've captured and conveyed to you how tremendously grateful that we are for this recognition. Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
That was
and then the kids came and I'm losing it too.
that was so good.
Oh wow.
So good. I remember reading radio. I just remember this. I was up at age. I don't think I came across them in the early years. I think it might have been like 2009, maybe 2010. But I remember I didn't know that you were allowed to do what they've done, and to see them thriving at 15 years was just incredible. Ida, how you doing?
I'm doing great. What a beautiful night. I just feel like everyone's such a good award receiver and speech maker. Like, you already wrote a book, and then and you're so busy, and then you just it's just so much care that goes into all of it, and it's so sweet to me.
and it's beautiful, the kids, the work.
It was I don't need to watch. I don't need to watch TV. I could just watch this for all day. But it probably is a time for us to wrap it up, right, Isaac?
All right. Do you want to say congrats to our winners one last time?
Yes, I would. Kaukalia Yang.
Absolutely. Ruta Sapetis, congrats.
Danez Smith.
Carmen Maria Machado, congrats.
And Gabriel Bump, just one more, just big claps all around.
And also, we just want to say congrats to $2 Radio again. Voice of the Heartland, incredible. Thank you, Hanif, for joining us. Thank you, Ida, for absolutely killing it in that tremendous beanie. Thank you to Larry and Carrie and everyone at Heartland Indies. You guys put this together. You made this happen. It looks so smooth up here today, but you got to know that a lot of work went into this. And of course, thank you to every single bookseller out there.
Yes.
Forever. Ohio versus everyone. Midwest versus everyone. That's it.
Yeah.
More. Ida, it's wonderful. It's a pleasure to do this with you.
It's really nice to do this with you as well. And thank you to everybody watching and on the chat. The chat's awesome. I recommend scrolling up if you want.
There's a lot of comments. In your empty homes. Love you all. Good night.